Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football plus F1 show. As today I'm going to talk about today's Premier League games and maybe the other games from other European leagues. And also we're going to talk about Formula 1, the sprint qualifying review of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Now let's get started. Let's start with the Premier League, with the football. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United. Both teams, Man United in a very good run of form. They're unbeaten in the last 4 games. 4 games, and they're playing really well. And Nottingham Forest, I don't think they were at their best, but they showed a bit of a fighting spirit a little bit to get a draw, and they're building good momentum. 4 games unbeaten, 3 wins. So yeah, Amorim has kind of turned it around, but obviously it's too early. They're playing Tottenham away, who have been quite inconsistent. Beating Everton and losing to Newcastle and Chelsea, and then beating Copenhagen. However, both teams, even though let's say United, they've started the season quite poorly, and then the last couple of games they've done quite well, and Tottenham have been inconsistent. They're level on points, and both teams are like 1 point behind the top 4, top 5. So, yeah, I think it's Tottenham at home. Obviously, Tottenham, I think Tottenham play better when they're away than at home. And you look at their record, like for example, away compared to at home is, it's completely different. Because I think at home, I think Arsenal are the first position, or they are the first position. Whereas Tottenham at home, Tottenham away, they are the first position. If you look at the table in the Premier League, or home table and away table. But at the same time, why do you always like Tottenham play better away than at home? Why do they lose so many games? Is it maybe the effect of having your fans on your side? Is it the effect of playing in a huge stadium? Is it? Because I think, when you play in a fantastic stadium like Tottenham Hotspur, and you have the fans on your side, it should always help you. But with the record that Tottenham have, I saw a statistic the other day that the amount of games Tottenham lost since 2019, the new stadium opened in 2019, was similar to the games that Arsenal lost since the new stadium opened in the Emirates in 2006. I was like staggered by that record, but at the same time, Tottenham Hotspur, like they clearly don't have a good record at home. They don't enjoy playing. Clearly, you can see the amount of games they've lost. All of their games have come from losses at home. Chelsea, Bournemouth, Aston Villa. So, yeah, and all the games where they've dropped points have come from at home as well, except Brighton away. So, yeah, I don't know why, but it is like this for Tottenham. As for Man United, they're in a very good run of form, playing good football. They're attacking well. And they've started to show a bit of form. They can improve defensively, but they started to show a bit some form. They're scoring goals. Players like Mabuemo doing quite well for them. Amad Diallo, who is a good player, scored a fantastic goal the other day. Bruno Fernandes also leading the team. So, but it's a very important game for both teams to show the clear progression they have. Because United have done quite well in last games, but also they have to try to do it more in a more consistent way, like keep improving, keep doing it. And for Tottenham, where they've not been consistently good enough this season, so can they? I think this game is going to be important to show the progression of the both teams. If Tottenham win, they have a clear progression under Thomas Frank. If United win, they have a clear progression under Ruben Amorim. If it's a draw, then both teams are not that great. So, but at the same time, this is a very important game. Very important game for both teams, especially for Tottenham to bounce back after they had a difficult defeat last week against Chelsea. The last big game they played was a difficult defeat to Chelsea, so they have a point to prove, let's say. And United want to keep the unbeaten run and also win as well. So it's a very important game for both teams. My score prediction, I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I think both teams will try to attack, both teams will try to score goals. It could be like a basketball match. I know I said it a couple of times before, but I'll go for a 2-2 draw. Everton against Fulham. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Everton. West Ham United against Burnley. I'm going for 1-0 win. Sorry, 1-0 win for West Ham. Sunderland against Arsenal. That's going to be a tricky game for Arsenal. Sunderland are a team who've come from the Championship, and if you look at the Premier League last, 2 seasons, let's say, before this season, all the teams who were promoted were straight away relegated to the Championship. Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton Town, 2023-2024 season. And then you got 2024-2025 season, Leicester City, Ipswich Town, Southampton. And this season you look at the promoted teams, Leeds United, Burnley, and also Sunderland. And all of them have done quite well, actually. Burnley, I know they're just above the relegation, but they've competed quite well, and they've played so many big teams early on, and they've done quite well in terms of competing. Sometimes, so and you got Sunderland who are doing absolutely incredibly well. Fourth in the Premier League, and they're doing really well. And I think they've conceded the second least goals in the Premier League, obviously behind Arsenal, of course. So yeah, and then you've got Leeds United who've done okay. Have done all right. So yeah, Sunderland. It's both teams who are facing each other. Obviously, both teams good defensively, but obviously the team who's famously more good defensively is Arsenal, and they're more good defensively, more consistent, more controlled, more well drilled, more well oiled machine. And I think Arsenal. You look at since the first October, 2-0 win against Olympiacos, 2-0 win against West Ham, 1-0 win against Fulham, 4-0 win against Atletico Madrid, 1-0 win against Crystal Palace, 2-0 win against Brighton, 2-0 win against Burnley, 3-0 win against Slavia Prague. I mean, 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 4-0, 3-0, 2-0. It's like a song, But it's going to be a tricky test. It's going to be a tricky game for Arsenal. Sunderland are a very good team, and they're a team who've done quite well at home this season. I think they're beaten at home, if I'm not mistaken. I want to get it correctly because they lost to Burnley away, okay, and then which the other game they lost to United. So they are beaten at home. The only game they lost at home was in the Carabao Cup to Huddersfield on penalties, but that was in the Carabao Cup. In the Premier League, they've been very good at home, and in terms of playing against the big teams, they can compete, they can fight. They beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They lost to United, okay, but they showed that they can compete with the big teams, and I think Sunderland, the way they performed since coming to the division, I was worried about them. I thought they've got good midfield, but the strikers they have, the defense is not good enough. But they've proved everybody, including me, of course, wrong, and you have to give them a lot of credit for that. Can they keep it going? Because we've seen teams before, like promoted teams, start the season quite well and then fall off towards the end and be in a relegation battle. Like, for example, I remember Hull City years ago. I remember, I think it was Watford or some other team who were also promoted and they went downwards towards the end. So I think it's going to be very, very. So I think it's going to be very important for the second half of the season how Sunderland do well, how they keep this good level of performance they do. So yeah, but you have to be absolutely impressed with the job that the Sunderland manager has done, the players have done. So what's his name again? The Sunderland manager, because Regis de Lebrun. He's not famous enough, so that's my problem. But he's done a very good job, and they've got quality players, Sunderland, like Granit Xhaka, experienced players. So that's for sure. That for sure helps Sunderland. Whereas Arsenal, they're doing really well, as everybody knows. They're winning games, they're keeping clean sheets right, left, and centre. And this could be another good weekend for Arsenal, as if they beat Sunderland and City Liverpool face each other. If it's ends a draw for City and Liverpool, and Arsenal beat Sunderland, then Arsenal go 8 points clear of City and 9 points clear of Liverpool. So it could be a potentially Another great weekend for Arsenal in this season's potential title race, because right now Arsenal, the way they're performing right now, if they keep this level of consistency, they could win the league like quite comfortably at the end. Yeah, but Arsenal, they look very, 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 very strong, very good. But it's going to be a difficult game. Some will make it difficult. Not be easy, but I expect Arsenal to get the win at the end. I'm going for a 1-0 win for Arsenal. Chelsea against Wolves. Chelsea, obviously, they've been in a difficult run of form. Not in a difficult run of form, but they've not been in the best run of form. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, sometimes they draw, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe not good. And they were fantastic against Tottenham away, and then they draw to Karabag away. I mean, and people make excuses, say, "Oh, it's difficult to go to Azerbaijan away, lots of traveling, whatever." I mean, it's just excuses, but it's a game that Chelsea should win. Wolves are a bottle. They just sacked Victor Pereira, sorry, and deservedly so. I mean, the job is done. He's not good enough, so he deserved to be sacked. They have won a game all season. It's a game that Chelsea should win, and if they don't win, then but Chelsea should win. They've not been in the best run of form, like in a consistent wise in terms of winning games. You look at their games, the last games. I mean, they drew to Karabakh away, they beat Tottenham away, they beat Wolves away in the Carabao, and then they lose to Sunderland, and then they beat Ajax, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, Benfica, and then they lose to Brighton at home. I mean, it's not a consistently good team. And they've got, like I said before, they've got defensively problems, they've goalkeeper problems. If they want to win the Premier League and win the Champions League, they have to fix those issues. And they need to have a more of an experienced squad, because I understand you want to bring players for the future, but at the same time you have to have also, like a bit like Real Madrid, have the balance in terms of the experienced players and the upcoming, future superstars players. You have to have a balance on that. And Real Madrid do well on that, but Chelsea don't do well on that. But yeah, my score prediction, I'm going for a 2-0 win for Chelsea. So let's look at the other leagues. You got Atletico Madrid against Levante. I think Atletico Madrid should win. Let's move on to Serie A. You've got Juventus against Torino. That's the Torino derby. It's a huge game for both teams, but I'd expect Juventus to win. Milan, they've got a game that they should win against Parma away. And then you've got the Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich face Union Berlin away, or mid-table, so it's a game Bayern Munich should win. And then you've got Ligue A. PSG would have to bounce back after the recent defeat against Bayern Munich, but they're going to play tomorrow against Lyon. So yeah, let's move on to Formula 1.